Admiral Kim stood on the command deck of the Eternal Seeker *, a ship so large it could cast shadows on moons. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the holographic display of the small blue planet. "Tell me more about this Earth," he said to Science Officer Lee, who nervously adjusted her uniform. "It appears ordinary, Admiral. Their technology is basic. They used fossil fuels, have only visited their moon, and their communications are primitive. But something is unusual about their development path." Kim walked closer to the display, his tall, slender form casting a long shadow across the deck. The ship hummed with quiet power as thousands of Talon crew members went about their duties. The Confederation had conquered or absorbed over 300 alien species in the past 1,000 years. Humans would be just one more. "What makes them unusual?" Kim asked. Lee pointed to a series of data points. "Their technological progress is uneven. They advanced rapidly in some areas but ignored others completely. It's not the pattern we typically see." Kim tapped a long finger against his chin. "Perhaps they are simply not very intelligent." "That's possible," Lee agreed. "But their art and music show great creativity. And they fight wars constantly. A warrior species might be useful to the Confederation." Admiral Kim smiled, showing rows of small, sharp teeth. The Talon Confederation always needed soldiers for their expansion. Most species were too peaceful or too weak to make good fighters. "The High Council wants this system for its resources," Kim said. "The humans will either serve us or be removed." In his private quarters later, Kim reviewed Earth's history. Humans were violent, divided, and emotional, traits the Talons found primitive but potentially useful. They had nuclear weapons, but had only used them twice in war. They had thousands of different languages and political systems. They seemed easy to conquer. "Computer, show me Earth's defenses," Kim ordered. The display showed primitive satellites, a few space stations, and missile systems. Nothing that could stop a Talon warship. "Their strongest weapon?" Kim asked. "Nuclear missiles with limited range," the computer replied. "No energy weapons detected. No force fields. No faster-than-light technology." Kim made his decision. He would lead the first contact mission himself. The glory of adding another species to the Confederation would advance his position with the High Council. "Send a message to the Council," Kim ordered his communication officer. "Tell them Earth appears suitable for integration. I recommend immediate contact." The response came back quickly. "Proceed with first contact protocols. Assess for usefulness. If unsuitable, clear the planet for colonization." Kim knew what that meant. If humans couldn't serve the Confederation, they would be wiped out and their planet taken. It had happened hundreds of times before. As the Eternal Seeker moved through the solar system, it passed the gas giants without slowing. The ship's advanced drive left no trace as it traveled faster than light, slowing only when it reached Mars. "Strange," said Navigation Officer June. "I'm detecting no monitoring stations on the outer planets or moons. Most species at this stage would have some presence beyond their home world." Kim frowned. "Perhaps they are even more primitive than we thought. Or they don't want to be noticed," Jun suggested. Kim dismissed the idea with a wave of his hand. If they had that level of strategic thinking, they would have unified their planet. Our scans show they still have separate nations. The massive ship slowed as it approached Earth, remaining behind the moon to avoid immediate detection. Kim ordered scans of all radio and digital communications to build a better language database. "They're arguing about climate change and economic systems," reported Cultural Officer Dai with amusement. "They can't even agree on basic planetary management." Kim nodded. This was typical of pre-unified species. How many major powers on the planet? About 7 nations with significant military strength, but none that could threaten us. They spend much of their resources fighting each other. Kim smiled. Divided planets were always easier to conquer. The Talons would simply need to find the right leaders to control, promise them power over their rivals, and the humans would surrender quickly. "Prepare the diplomatic shuttle," Kim ordered. "I will lead the mission myself." Officer Lee looked concerned. "Admiral, shouldn't we observe longer? Something doesn't feel right about this planet." Kim turned all four eyes toward her. "Are you questioning my judgment, officer?" Lee bowed her head quickly. "No, Admiral. Just suggesting caution. The Confederation has conquered far more advanced worlds than this one," Kim said firmly. "I want to complete this mission and move on. There are more important systems waiting for us." What Kim didn't say was that he was bored. The Eternal Seeker had been exploring this sector for 3 years without finding any truly advanced civilizations. Earth would be a simple mission, and he could return to the Central Worlds for his next assignment, hopefully something more challenging. As the ship moved into position on the dark side of Earth's moon, Kim gathered his contact team. 12 officers in formal Talon uniforms prepared for the meeting with Earth's leaders. "Remember, we present ourselves as benevolent visitors," Kim instructed them. "Offer medical technology and energy production methods as gifts. Don't mention resource extraction or military service requirements until after they accept our protection." It was the standard approach. Show power, offer gifts, gain trust, then slowly take control. It had worked hundreds of times before. What Admiral Kim didn't know was that deep below Earth's surface, in bunkers shielded from any known detection method, humans were watching the Talon ship with great interest. And they were smiling. Lieutenant Park stood at his monitoring station on the bridge of the Eternal Seeker *, his dark uniform adorned with the silver pins of a senior scan officer. He tapped his station with 3-fingered hands, bringing up new readings of the solar system. "Admiral Kim, our scans show no artificial structures beyond Earth orbit, just primitive satellites and one small space station," Park reported, unable to hide the contempt in his voice. Admiral Kim moved to stand beside him, looking at the scan results with all 4 of his eyes. The massive ship continued its silent approach toward Earth, now passing the orbit of Saturn. Its stealth systems made it completely invisible to conventional detection methods. "No defense platforms, no monitoring stations?" Kim asked, his voice low. "Nothing, Admiral. Their most distant object is a primitive probe that recently passed Pluto. It's barely more than a camera with a radio." The bridge crew exchanged looks of amusement. Many had served during the conquest of more advanced worlds. Earth seemed like it would hardly be worth the effort. "They haven't even colonized their moon properly," said Navigation Officer June, "just a few abandoned landing sites from decades ago." Admiral Kim nodded but felt a strange sensation in his spine, the tingling that had saved his life in many battles. Something didn't add up. A species advanced enough for nuclear power and digital technology should have expanded further into their system. "Run a deeper scan pattern," Kim ordered suddenly. "Look for anything unusual." The crew hurried to comply as the massive ship glided past Jupiter, its moons tiny dots against the gas giant's swirling surface. "Still nothing, Admiral," Park reported after several minutes. "Wait, there's something odd about their communication patterns." "Explain," Kim demanded. "Earth broadcasts millions of signals, but they're mostly entertainment and news. I'm detecting very little military communication. It's like they're not even monitoring their own system." Kim frowned. "Either they're completely stupid, or what, Admiral?" asked Officer Lee. "Or they want us to think they're defenseless." Kim straightened his uniform. "Maintain alert status. Something isn't right." Far below, deep under the Rocky Mountains in North America, General June stood in the center of Earth's Defense Command. The circular room hummed with quiet activity as hundreds of officers monitored holographic displays showing the approaching alien vessel. "They're passing Jupiter now," reported Colonel Han, her fingers dancing across a control panel that looked like ordinary glass but contained quantum processors. "Their scan patterns just changed. They're looking more carefully." General June nodded, her short gray hair catching the blue light from the displays. Her uniform bore no flashy medals or rank insignia, just a simple blue outfit with a small Earth emblem on the collar. "Has their scan detected any of our defenses?" she asked. "No, General. The quantum masking is holding. They can see what we want them to see. Nothing more." June smiled slightly. Earth had been preparing for this day for over a century. When their quantum scientists discovered evidence of alien civilizations 50 years ago, humanity had made a collective decision. Rather than announce themselves to the galaxy, they would develop in secret, building defenses that used completely different technology than other species might expect. "Put me through to the Defense Council," Jun requested. The main screen changed to show 5 faces, the leaders of Earth's unified defense forces. "The visitors are proceeding exactly as expected," Jun reported. "Their ship design matches our deep space telescope observations of other conquered worlds. These are almost certainly the expansionist species we've been monitoring." "Are they following first contact protocols?" asked Counselor Ba, an elderly woman with stern features. "Yes, they're making no aggressive moves yet. They seem to think we're primitive and divided." "Good," Council Chairman nodded. "Our unified government and advanced technology remain hidden." "What's your assessment, General?" June studied the holographic display showing the alien vessel. It was enormous, a city in space, but Earth had prepared for much worse. "They're confident, arrogant. They've passed through our system without even considering we might detect them." June pointed to data showing the alien ship's scan patterns. "Their technology is advanced, but they rely on conventional physics. They have no idea about our quantum grid." The council members nodded in agreement. Earth's greatest scientific breakthrough had been the development of quantum technology that operated on principles completely different from conventional science. It couldn't be detected by standard methods because it existed partly in other dimensions. "It's time," said Jun firmly. "Let's activate the defense grid." Chairman gave a single nod. "Approved. Initiate Protocol Thunderbolt." June turned to her communication officer. "Send the coded signal." Throughout the solar system, hidden installations receive the quantum signal. On Earth's moon, beneath the dusty surface, massive weapon platforms powered up, their energy signatures masked by quantum fields. Similar installations on Mars, hidden in deep canyons, came online. Stealth satellites throughout the system activated, their sensors locking onto the alien vessel while remaining completely undetectable. Most impressive were the defensive platforms hidden in the Trojan points of Jupiter, massive constructs that could destroy a planet, disguised as ordinary asteroids. "All systems online," General, reported Colonel Han. "Defensive grid is at full power, but running in passive mode. They still have no idea we can see them." June nodded with satisfaction. "Now we wait. Let them come to us, thinking we're defenseless." Back on the Eternal Seeker Admiral Kim paced the command deck. "We'll enter Earth orbit in 6 hours," Officer Jun reported. "Should we announce our presence?" Kim considered for a moment. "No. Let's observe a full planetary rotation first. I want to know more about their military capabilities before we reveal ourselves." "Sir, with respect, they have no military capabilities that could threaten us," said Lieutenant Park with a laugh. "Their most advanced weapons are nuclear missiles that can barely reach orbit." "Nevertheless," Kim replied sharply, "we will follow protocols. This species may be primitive, but something about this planet bothers me." As the alien ship approached, neither side revealed their true capabilities. The humans watched through their invisible network, gathering data on the visitors. The Talons scanned what they believed was a primitive world, unaware that Earth's most advanced technology existed in dimensions they couldn't perceive. It was the perfect trap. The stage was set for a first contact that would shock the galaxy. The Eternal Seeker settled into a high orbit around Earth, its massive form casting a shadow that astronomers across the planet could see through their telescopes. After 3 days of observation, Admiral Kim decided it was time to make contact. "Begin the transmission," he ordered from his command chair. Officer Lee activated the communication array, broadcasting on all Earth frequencies. Admiral. The message went out in waves, interrupting television broadcasts, radio signals, internet connections, and phone calls across the planet. Every screen showed the same image. Admiral Kim, his four eyes blinking in sequence, his blue-gray skin looking almost metallic under the ship's lights. "People of Earth," he began, his voice translated into hundreds of human languages simultaneously. "We are the Talon Confederation, bringers of peace and advancement. We have traveled far to find your world. We offer you protection and knowledge in exchange for your allegiance. Your leaders should prepare to meet with us." On Earth, the message created exactly the reaction the humans had planned for. News channels showed crowds gathering in cities, some people panicking, others celebrating. Religious leaders declared it the end times or the fulfillment of prophecy. Military units were visibly deployed to major cities. All of this was carefully orchestrated theater. In reality, Earth had been unified under a single government for nearly 50 years. The apparent divisions between nations were maintained as a deception for any watching alien species. The United Nations still existed as a public-facing organization, but the real power lay with the Earth Unity Council, which operated from hidden facilities. In New York, world leaders gathered at the UN headquarters for what appeared to be an emergency meeting. News cameras captured their arrival, their worried faces, the hurried consultations. Council Chair Min, operating under her public identity as the Secretary General of the UN, addressed the world. "We have received a message from an alien civilization. After discussion, we have agreed to meet with their representatives. We go in peace, seeking friendship." Admiral Kim watched this response from orbit, satisfied with the humans' apparent surprise and fear. "They're reacting as expected," he told his officers. "They've invited us to land at a location of their choosing, an artificial island in their Pacific Ocean." "Is that safe, Admiral?" asked Officer Jun. "It could be a trap." Kim laughed. "What trap could these primitives possibly set that would threaten us? Our personal shields alone can withstand their strongest weapons." The landing site coordinates were received, and Kim prepared his diplomatic team. 12 officers chosen for their impressive appearance and experience with first contact protocols. Their shuttle, a sleek craft with weapons hidden beneath its smooth surface, descended through Earth's atmosphere the next day. "Remember," Kim instructed his team, "appear benevolent but firm. These humans must understand that joining the Confederation is not a choice. It is their only option for survival." The shuttle broke through the clouds to reveal a sight that made even the experienced admiral pause. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean stood an enormous circular platform, at least 2 kilometers across. It appeared to float on the water's surface, its center featuring a landing pad surrounded by elegant buildings with curved white walls. "They built this quickly," Officer Lee noted with surprise. "Our scans showed nothing here 3 days ago." Kim frowned. Perhaps they had it hidden underwater. Interesting. As the shuttle landed smoothly on the pad, Kim observed human aircraft keeping their distance, primitive jets and helicopters that posed no threat. The platform itself appeared to be made of simple materials, concrete and steel. When the shuttle doors opened, Kim led his delegation onto Earth's surface. The gravity felt slightly stronger than they were used to, but their bodies adjusted quickly. The air smelled of salt and something unfamiliar, flowers placed in decorative arrangements around the landing area. A small group of humans approached, just 5 of them, dressed in simple dark suits with no visible weapons or protection. Kim's threat assessment systems indicated they were ordinary biological beings with no implants or enhancements. The human in front, a woman with short black hair and calm eyes, stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Welcome to Earth," she said in clear, measured tones. "I am Dr. Jia, Earth's designated diplomat. We are honored by your visit and look forward to peaceful exchange." Kim noticed something odd. The woman was speaking her native language, but he understood her perfectly. His translation implant was working, but it shouldn't have been this accurate with a newly encountered language. "We are the Talon Confederation," Kim replied, standing tall so he towered over the humans. "We have visited thousands of worlds and brought them into our protection. Your planet has great potential but requires guidance. The High Council has decreed you shall join our confederation as a protectorate species." His translator conveyed his words with deliberate arrogance. This was standard procedure, established dominance early. Dr. Jia showed no reaction to his tone. She simply smiled politely and gestured toward one of the white buildings. "Perhaps we should discuss terms over refreshments. Our ways may be different from what you expect." Kim agreed with a slight nod, certain that this would be a simple negotiation. The humans appeared respectful, even awed by the aliens' presence. This was exactly how first contact usually proceeded with less advanced species. As they walked toward the building, Kim noticed small details that puzzled him. The humans showed no fear. Their heartbeats were steady, their body language relaxed. Most species meeting the Talons for the first time showed clear signs of stress or fear. Inside the building, they entered a large circular room with a table that also formed a complete circle. Windows looked out over the ocean in all directions. The setup was unusual. There was no head of the table, no position of power. "Please be seated," Dr. J invited them. "We have prepared food and drink that our analysis suggests will be compatible with your biology." Kim hesitated. "You've analyzed our biology." Dr. J's smile remained pleasant. "We've made educated guesses based on visual observation. Is that a problem?" "No," Kim replied, taking a seat that allowed him to face the door. His officers arranged themselves around him. Humans in white uniforms served dishes of colorful foods and clear drinks. Kim's portable scanner indicated nothing toxic, so he allowed his team to sample the offerings. As they ate, Dr. J spoke of Earth's history and culture, carefully presenting the image of a divided but promising planet. She asked polite questions about the Confederation, which Kim answered with rehearsed descriptions designed to impress and intimidate. "Your Confederation sounds vast and powerful," Dr. J commented. "What role do you see Earth playing in it?" Kim set down his drink. "Your people have warrior potential. Your resources are valuable. With proper guidance, humans could serve as soldiers and workers. Your planet would become a productive member of our empire." "Interesting," Dr. J replied, still smiling. "And if we preferred a different arrangement?" Kim's 4 eyes fixed on her. "There is no different arrangement. You join willingly or unwillingly. Those are the only options the Confederation offers." For the first time, Dr. J's smile faded slightly. "I see. Then I believe it's time we showed you something about Earth that your scans may have missed." After they finished their refreshments, Admiral Kim nodded to his officers. It was time to move to the next phase of first contact, the display of power. This was standard procedure for bringing new species into the Confederation. "Dr. J," Kim said, his voice taking on a more formal tone, "we appreciate your hospitality. Now, we would like to show you some examples of Talon technology." The officers arranged themselves in a line and began producing small devices from their uniforms. One created a floating sphere of water that changed shapes without any visible container. Another displayed a communication device that showed real-time images from their homeworld, 16 light-years away. A third officer demonstrated a small energy weapon by disintegrating a piece of fruit, leaving nothing but dust. The humans watched with polite interest, but showed none of the awe or fear that Kim expected. This puzzled him, but he continued with the protocol. "These are but trinkets compared to the Confederation's true power," Kim declared, standing to his full height. "Our ships can turn oceans to steam and mountains to dust. We have destroyed civilizations that refused our benevolent rule." He activated a small projector that displayed images of planets before and after Talon conquest, worlds reduced to barren landscapes, species brought to their knees. "The choice is simple," Kim continued. "Join us willingly and benefit from our protection, or resist and face extinction. Your technology is primitive. Your defenses are non-existent. Your world is divided. You cannot stand against us." Dr. Judd listened to this speech with a calm expression. When Kim finished, she nodded thoughtfully and stood up. "Impressive indeed, Admiral Kim. Your Confederation clearly possesses advanced technology." She smoothed her jacket. "However, before we continue, perhaps we should be transparent about our own capabilities." Kim felt a flicker of amusement. What capabilities could these humans possibly have that would matter? Dr. Joy pressed a small button on her wristband. Instantly, the walls of the meeting room changed. The solid white surfaces became completely transparent, as if they had turned to glass. What Admiral Kim saw outside made all four of his eyes widen in shock. The island they stood on was not simply floating on the ocean's surface. It was the top of an enormous structure that extended deep below the waves. And surrounding it, hovering silently both above and below the water, were hundreds of advanced vessels unlike anything he had seen in his scans. The ships were sleek, with no visible engines or weapons, their surfaces reflecting the sunlight with a strange shifting pattern that suggested advanced stealth technology. "What is this?" Kim demanded, his voice losing its confidence. At that moment, the door opened and a new human entered. She wore a simple gray uniform with no decorations, but Kim immediately sensed her authority. "I am General June," she said without preamble, "Commander of Earth's Defense Forces." Before Kim could respond, the ceiling of the room also became transparent, revealing the sky above, and what waited in orbit. Where there had been empty space around his ship, he now saw thousands of satellites and space stations, some larger than the Eternal Seeker itself. "We detected your ship 3 months before you entered our solar system," General June explained, walking to the center of the room. She activated a device on the table, and a detailed holographic display appeared, showing the complete schematics of the Eternal Seeker. Kim stared in disbelief. The display showed every detail of his ship, the engine systems, the weapon placements, even the crew quarters. Most alarming of all, it highlighted structural weaknesses and defensive gaps that even he hadn't been fully aware of. "How is this possible?" Kim demanded, his confidence shattered. "Your species shows no evidence of such advancement. Our scans showed primitive technology, divided nations." Dr. J smiled, but there was no warmth in it now. "What your scans showed is what we wanted you to see, Admiral." General June continued, "Your ship uses conventional scanning technology, advanced, yes, but based on principles that we transcended long ago. Our quantum detection systems exist partially in other dimensions. They cannot be detected by conventional means." "Other dimensions," Officer Lee whispered. "That's theoretical even to our scientists." "Not theoretical to us," Dr. J replied. "We learned long ago that advertising power only invites challenge. Earth united centuries ago, but chose isolation until we were ready for the stars." Kim struggled to process this information. The divisions we saw, the separate nations, the conflicts, a carefully maintained illusion, General June confirmed. "For any watching eyes from space, we unified Earth's governments 122 years ago, after our scientists detected evidence of interstellar civilizations. Outside the transparent walls, more human vessels were rising from beneath the ocean. They moved in perfect formation, surrounding the meeting facility in a display of precision that spoke of advanced coordination systems." Admiral Kim tried to contact his ship, pressing the communicator on his uniform. There was no response. "Your communication signals are being blocked," Dr. J explained. "Not jammed, that would be crude. We've created a quantum pocket around this facility. No conventional signals can enter or leave." Officer Park, the tactical specialist, stepped forward. "If what you say is true, why reveal yourselves now? Why not destroy our ship immediately?" General June's expression remained neutral. "Because we are not conquerors, Lieutenant Park. Earth has no interest in following the Confederation's example of subjugation and destruction. Dr. J added, "We revealed ourselves because we hope to establish peaceful relations with the galaxy, even with empires like yours. But we will do so as equals, not as subjects." To demonstrate their point further, General June expanded the holographic display. It now showed the entire solar system, revealing human installations on Mars, Venus, and several moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Most shocking of all were the massive structures hidden in the asteroid belt, clearly shipyards building vessels far larger than the Eternal Seeker. While the Confederation was conquering nearby stars, Dr. J explained, Earth was preparing. We developed our technology in secret, expanded throughout our system without broadcasting our achievements, and waited. Admiral Kim stood rigid, his mind racing to develop a new strategy. The standard protocols for first contact were useless now. The humans had completely upended all his assumptions. "What happens now?" he asked finally. General Jun deactivated the holographic display. "Now, Admiral Kim, we negotiate as equals. Or you can leave our system and report to your High Council that Earth is not available for conquest." Kim looked at his officers, seeing the same shock and confusion on their faces that he felt. Everything they believed about human civilization had been wrong. The primitive species they had come to subjugate had been watching them, studying them, and preparing for this moment for over a century. The balance of power had shifted completely. For the first time in his long career, Admiral Kim faced a first contact situation where he was not the one in control. The door to the meeting room opened, and a tall human with silver hair entered. Unlike General Jun's plain uniform, this man wore formal clothes with a simple blue pin on his collar, the only sign of his authority. "Admiral Kim, I am President Sung of the United Earth Government," he said in a calm voice. "I apologize for not greeting you initially, but we needed to assess your intentions." Kim struggled to find words. Everything he had believed about Earth had been wrong. He had come to conquer what he thought was a primitive world, only to find a hidden superpower. "Your deception was impressive," Kim admitted finally. "No species has ever hidden their true capabilities from us before." President Sung nodded. "Survival required it. Our deep space telescopes observe your Confederation's expansion pattern. We saw what happened to worlds that revealed their technology too soon." General Jun activated another display showing the human colonies throughout their solar system. Massive cities beneath the surface of Mars, floating habitats in Venus's upper atmosphere, mining operations on multiple moons. Most impressive were the enormous space stations at the Lagrange points, each home to millions of people. "We have no interest in conquest," President Sung explained, his hands clasped behind his back. "But neither will we be conquered. Earth stands ready to join the galactic community as equals, not subjects." Kim's tactical mind was already calculating. The ship he had arrived in was powerful, but the human defenses he now saw would easily destroy it. And if Earth had hidden this much, what else might they be concealing? "I must report to my High Council," Kim said. "Of course," President Sung agreed. "You may return to your ship. We will disable our communication dampening field once you leave this facility." As Kim and his officers prepared to depart, Dr. J approached him privately. "Admiral, a word of advice," she said quietly. "When you report to your council, consider suggesting alliance rather than conflict. Earth does not wish to be your enemy." Kim studied her face. "You could have destroyed our ship the moment we entered your system. Why didn't you?" "Because that is not our way," she replied simply. "We developed our technology defensively, not for conquest. We hoped the Confederation might learn from our example." Back aboard the Eternal Seeker, Kim called an emergency meeting with his senior staff. The mood was somber as they reviewed the human technology they had witnessed. "Their quantum science is at least a century ahead of ours," Officer Lee reported. "They've developed principles our theorists have only dreamed about." "And their military capabilities?" Kim asked. Lieutenant Park shook his head in disbelief. "Based on what we saw, They could destroy this ship 100 times over. Their defense grid throughout this system is perfect. There are no gaps, no weaknesses. Kim made his decision. Prepare a full report for the High Council. Include all sensor data and recordings. We are leaving this system immediately. When the Talon High Council received Kim's report, panic ensued. Emergency sessions were called. Military commanders were summoned from across the Confederation. How could an isolated species develop such technology without our knowledge? Demanded Council Leader Rim, his aging face displayed on screens throughout the Confederation capital. They developed along different lines, Kim explained, standing before the Council. While we mastered conventional physics and expanded outward, they focused on quantum science and kept their advancements hidden. They watched us, and others, learning from our mistakes without revealing themselves. The implications were staggering. The entire Talon strategy of expansion had been predicated on technological superiority. Now they faced a species that had developed in isolation, unburdened by the conventional wisdom of interstellar civilization. What do they want? Asked another council member. Respect, Kim replied simply. Recognition as equals. They have no interest in conquest, but they will not be conquered. After weeks of debate, the Council reached its decision. The Talons would negotiate with Earth rather than risk a conflict they might not win. 6 months later, Kim returned to Earth, this time as part of a diplomatic delegation. The Treaty of Seoul was signed on the same artificial island where first contact had occurred. The Talon Confederation recognized Earth as a sovereign power with control over its entire solar system. But the treaty went further than simple recognition. Humans agreed to share some of their unique quantum technology, not weapons, but medical advances and clean energy systems. In exchange, the Confederation provided star maps and cultural knowledge of the galaxy's many species. The most surprising clause in the treaty was Earth's insistence on review of the status of all protectorate species under Talon control. President Sung personally negotiated this point, offering human technology as incentive for the Confederation to grant more independence to worlds they had conquered. As news of Earth spread throughout the galaxy, other subjugated species looked to humans with hope. Here was a model for their own potential liberation. A species that had avoided conquest through patience and careful planning. Kim found himself appointed as permanent ambassador to Earth, a position he had never expected but now embraced. He spent his days learning about human culture and history, fascinated by how this species had united despite their differences. "What I still don't understand," he said to Dr. J during one of their regular meetings, "is how your people maintained the deception for so long. Surely someone would have revealed the truth, either accidentally or deliberately." Dr. J smiled. "Our unity wasn't forced, Admiral. It grew from necessity. When we discovered we weren't alone in the universe, and that some of our neighbors might not be friendly, old divisions seemed petty by comparison." 1 year after first contact, Kim stood on the observation deck of Earth's largest space station, watching as the first joint Talon-human expedition prepared to depart for unexplored space. The ship combined technologies from both civilizations, creating something entirely new. "Your people have changed the Confederation," Kim admitted to President Sung, who stood beside him. "Many of our leaders now question our history of conquest." "Change is difficult," Sung replied, "but necessary for growth. Perhaps together we can build something better than either of us could alone." The story spread throughout the stars. Beware the quiet ones, for they may be the most powerful of all. And from their small blue planet, humans stepped onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors or the conquered, but as transformers of the established order, reminding the cosmos that appearances can be deceiving and that true power often lies in patience, unity, and the wisdom to know when to reveal one's strength. The end.